Hey, welcome back to the Signature Movement. It's your girl Tanya D. Floyd. I'm posted up in here reading some interesting news. I don't really read a lot of news because the news brings anxiety and same thing going on every single day. Why we got to keep dwelling on that? I want to dwell on gratitude and positivity and that whole thing. But these particular articles that I'm reading today are I'm trying to understand something about this whole real estate thing. What am I talking about? On Tuesday, there was a verdict in a court case about the National Association of Realtors and other agencies in real estate world. A group of plaintiffs over there in Missouri, Kansas, somewhere over there, got together and said that they didn't really appreciate how, they say brokerages have been inflating home prices and colluding. Basically, they stated antitrust violation. Antitrust. Um, I looked it up on Google. So the Justice Department defines antitrust violations as conspiracies that unreasonably restrain trade. Basically, if competitors make agreements to fix prices or wages, rig bids, or allocate customers, workers, or markets, they're criminal violations of the antitrust laws. Okay, what does that mean? Basically, if all the real estate agencies got together and said, okay, here's what we're going to do to make sure we can, control the housing market or, determine how much a certain thing is worth. Because, well, maybe you don't know. And I think that's part of the problem. I'm going to get to it later. But I think a lot of people don't understand what we do as agents. But let me just break this down right here first. Um, I think a lot of people are saying that these people have colluded because when you go to buy a home or sell a home, what agents do is they look at the current market, what's sold in the last 6 months in that half mile area with similar features to what you're buying or selling, right? And they come up with a range of what the price should be for the home that you're looking for or trying to sell. And then, they put it on the market for sellers and, buyers are attracted to it or not based on many factors, but a lot of times it's the price. So you normally if you go to buy a house, you're going to start out with, okay, this is my price range. This is what I was approved for, right? Okay. So say you're approved for 350. You're going to start looking for homes that are listed for 350 and lower, right? Right. Or maybe just a little bit higher and you think you can, haggle them down or something, but depends on the market. You may or may not be able to do that. But anyway, so you go out looking for a certain price range, but that price range was determined by other sales in the area. So what this lawsuit basically is saying that all the realtors in the world and their organizations have conspired to make these prices, this or that versus this or that. I have opinions about that, but nah. We're gonna talk about that later. Okay, but for the meantime, so the lawsuit was saying, yeah, they colluded, and that was one facet of it. Another facet of it is they really pissed, which they brought it to their lawyers to do this class action lawsuit, was because sellers are saying we're paying too much to buyer agents. Why is it all connected? Why does this organization, why does this what do you call it? This group, well, let's just call it this group of professionals and everyone, why do they link the buyer's compensation with the seller's compensation, and why do the sellers have to pay it? You probably think that's a reasonable question and it makes a lot of sense, right? I can see how you could think that because you don't understand what we do. But that's why they're saying it's collusion and it's criminal, because everybody in the real estate market operates this way. And National Association of Realtors, or NAR for short, is the main organization to which a lot of agencies subscribe, because I call it like a realtors union, a real estate union. In my opinion, they operate for the best interest, in the best interest of real estate professionals and customers. But they really, really, really focus on how realtors are protected and compensated, and how we treat each other. And not all real estate agents are realtors. Did you know that? It's true. NAR is a special organization. You can only use the Realtor, REALTOR, trademark, title, logos, or anything if you're a member of that organization. Other real estate agents on the outside do not pay dues to be in this organization. Um, they don't get all the benefits of being in this organization because of that. Now, one of the main products of the National Association of Realtors is access to the MLS, which is the multiple listing service, which is the system that all your agents will look in to see what properties are available and the prices and all the information that they get on each property. And, that whole history, everything is in there for agents to look at, right? Not all agents have access to that if they don't subscribe to NAR. They might have to pay a little fee to use it if they're not members of NAR. I'm not sure how that works, so don't quote me on that. But I know if you're in NAR, you get access to the MLS, and it's no problem. You can list things in there. You can find properties in there and everything. Okay. But you're not going to see like for sale by owner type properties in there because they're not members of NAR. We're not really working with those kind of people in that system because they don't follow the same rules. It's complicated. I'm going to try not to get too far into it, but just suffice it to say that NAR has a package of privileges, and membership in any organization has a package of privileges, right? Let's just say that. Fact. Okay. Next fact. I read about the lawsuit, and I was thinking, I don't understand why they don't think they're shooting themselves in the foot. Well, who are they? Sellers. The sellers who brought this lawsuit. Now, the lawyers, I'm not going to say why in the world would they even bring this, because you pay a lawyer, they just going to do whatever because they getting paid, and they don't have to believe in your cause or you or nothing. They getting paid, so just forget about them. But the sellers, okay, you mad because you paid fees to the buyer's agents. However, because of the buyer's agents who track through your house with their clients in tow and who advertised it on the MLS from NAR, because it was in that system, thousands and thousands and thousands of realtors in your area were able to see your listing. Many people were able to use your listing in a pack of comparables. These 3 properties closely resemble the one you're looking at or whatever, and this is what they sold for and all that. So you got advertising for your property that you want to sell. Okay, so your listing agent, the one you signed the agreement with to sell your property, got her all dressed up for you and put her on the market. But what does that all dressed up part entail? Well, they got a nice photographer, might have some aerial shots from the drone, or just different packages out there. They put the sign in the yard. They did everything except put bells and whistles on to make sure that other agents knew to bring their clients, because they try and get your house sold, right? That's part of why you're paying them a commission. They are making it so that your property is noticeable. They know where to put it. They know what to say about it. They know the lingo in the industry. They know people. They probably then email some people, call some people, and different things to make sure that people knew, come look at my listing, right? Okay. Now here's the piece I said pause on a long time ago. Where you get these buyers from? Your listing agent made sure people knew, and they put it on that MLS that's sponsored by NAR. And yeah, now a bunch of agents who don't know nothing about you or your property can bring their clients and look at it and negotiate with you about it or whatever, and finally come to a deal or not. Or they give you input, just enough input when they do these showings. They give you feedback and say, is the price too high, the place too dated. They might say different things, but all the feedback that you get will let you know as a seller what kind of adjustments you can make to make that girl a little prettier and a little more marketable, or to drop that price down. Okay? But all these buyer's agents doing the footwork, legwork. They drive their cars to your place. they meet their clients or bring with them in their car to your place, among other places. They go up and down your stairs. They show them all the features. They trying to sell your house too, because they want to get their commission for showing this buyer and getting that deal closed. So everybody's interested in getting your property sold for you. Here's a key point that you probably don't know. Fun fact. In the state of Maryland, it is the law. If a real estate agent does not have a signed buyer agreement, which means that a specific buyer has hired you to be their exclusive representative and signed the contract with your brokerage. If they have not done that, you can absolutely still bring them and you can absolutely still get a commission. However, you represent the interests of the seller. Without a signed buyer agreement, you represent the seller in the state of Maryland. So they call us sub-agents. You have a listing agent that you signed up with to represent your property on the market, blah, blah, blah. And yeah, you paying them your commission, their commission. But anybody else who bring a buyer can get a commission from you for bringing it. And they're called sub-agents, but they're representing you and your property, even though they ain't never met you or seen your property before. If they don't have a signed buyer, that's what they're doing. So I can't give it this whole collusion thing. But anyway, yeah, but if you do have a buyer's agent, a buyer agreement with your brokerage signed by the buyer, blah, 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 you represent their interests and not necessarily the seller. You can, it's all very collaborative though. No matter who you represent or why, everybody want to get the house sold because everybody's trying to get paid. It's in our best interest to work together to get this house sold to these people from these people so everybody can go about their business. It is. It's a collaborative thing. Even though it's very competitive out here trying to get actual clients to sign up with you, it's all very collaborative when you're in the deal or in the deal pipeline, right? Anyway, that's some of the stuff agents do. Buyer agents, let's talk about it. They drove their car, they brought the people, as many people as necessary, as many times as necessary. They walked the grounds, they did all the research to find the market analysis to find all the properties that need to go into the package to say this is what the house should be worth and this is what we're going to say we're going to offer for it. They do all that research. And then they look up at the taxes and all these things online and do many different things. Many different things. You will never understand unless you're one of us. And that's why I think they got the verdict that they got too, because they were in front of a jury of people who still don't understand what we do. So, it's a mess, but it's not over. It's gonna be appealed and appealed and appealed. So let's just keep that in mind for later. But let's just say, for the sake of argument, that the whole thing ended today. Let's say the case was won and blah blah blah, and now NAR got to change how they do everything, and the whole industry gonna be upset. Well, let me ask you this: you go to buy a house today. You're approved for, let's say, $300,000. Who gonna take you to see the house? If we don't get paid by the sellers, you gotta pay us. You got the money to pay us. You gonna put it in your loan? Is your lender gonna allow that? I foresee a problem with lenders allowing that. It's real hard right now for the average first-time buyer to get the money to do down payment and closing. Yeah, they got programs with down payment and closing assistance. 100%. Many of them, different places, different kinds of people. There's so many programs. Yes, it's a wonderful thing. In the state of Maryland, my lender friends keep sending me all these emails about all these wonderful things that my buyers can benefit from. And it's amazing because, well, buyers need help. I don't care if you own your 17th house and you spending $1 million, you still gonna need somebody to go show you the house and look at all the stuff, because you might not have time. Somebody got to go in there and do the research to find the right houses to show you. Somebody got to take you to the houses, get you access. Oh yeah, that's another thing. How they gonna get access? You gonna be there as the seller to let them in? Your listing agent gonna let them in every time? How they gonna get in to see your property? How you gonna schedule that without the buyer agent? We got codes. to systems that y'all don't have. So we bring the people, ain't nobody there. Ain't nobody gotta be there. We get the code, we enter the property, boom. We show the property, what you think? You wanna buy it? Yes or no? As many times as necessary. Without that piece, again, who's gonna show them the house? You gonna do it? Every single time? Do you really want to sell the house? Part of what you're paying for is the ability to do all the things that you can't or don't have time or don't have the experience to do. And if you just pay your agent and nobody else pays the buyer's agent, and the buyers are having problems getting approved because they can't afford that additional fee, and the buyer's agents now have to compete to earn pennies, because if they deregulate the thing, or I'm not going to say regulated, it's not regulated, but if they change that policy and buyer's agents now have to squabble over every single customer who's approved, it's going to be even more competitive than it is now, which means it's going to be hard to make a living as an agent unless you're a listing agent, because it's 1,000 agents to each qualified buyer. That's an example. Say, they want to pay us 1% because that's all they can afford. And I got to fight 1,000 people. I'm not doing that. I'm gonna do something else. I'm not doing that no more. That's how ugly it can get. If the buyer is loaded and they got an extra 15 grand laying around to add to their purchase price, that's fine. But how many of those are there out there? And how are all these agents gonna find them? Needle in a haystack. What are all the other agents gonna be doing? Something else. And if you call and say, I need you to help me buy this house, and the commission is only 1% guaranteed because, that's what you say you're willing to pay, I'm pretty much not gonna make time for that. I'm just not. I can't be the only one. The market rate. And why is there such a problem with market rate anyway? Why are they calling it collusion when everybody had input on the price that was paid? The buyers had the most input on the price. Either they was going to buy it or they wasn't going to buy it at that price. They negotiated enough till they were happy. And they bought the house for whatever price. We didn't set the price. We just looked around for what was out there. And here you go. Here's the zone. Go at it. I don't understand. I'm just gonna stop fighting that piece. But what else do buyer's agents do for you? Oh Lordy. They do all the labor. They do. They inform people, they educate people, they help put people in touch with the right lenders. We got a lot of connections in this business. So whether you're buying or selling, the person that you hook up with, whatever agent you choose, has a network of ways to make your life easier to get that transaction done. They might have lenders. I mean, people keep talking to me. They got lenders. They probably got movers. They got home warranties. They got oh my gosh, so many emails, so many amenities, so many connections to make your life easier. Just say you want to do it, sign the agreement, and let me go to work. That's what we do. We do everything to make sure you get that transaction done. Mm-hmm. Now, speaking of the transaction, I was somehow thinking about the numbers part of it. Like, oh yeah, because that piece of the argument that was saying that the prices were inflated because you got to pay the buyer's agent and the seller and the listing agent. I don't understand that piece either, because if you selling a house for 300 grand and the buyer was only qualified for the 300 grand, they're not gonna pay 312 or 15 or whatever, because you got to pay their buyer's agent. The house not gonna be more expensive. I don't understand that piece. I'm confused about that piece. I might have to, I don't know if I read it some more if it's gonna make sense. It's not, because let's just say you all agree that they're gonna pay $300,000 for the house. Well, There's some fees and municipality charges and a whole bunch of other stuff that rolls up into that down payment and closing cost part. Well, they pay that out of pocket. Out of pocket. Like, whatever the loan says, that's how much you get, and you don't get no more. So if the house price is 300,000 and they're gonna pay 300,000, their loan is probably gonna be less than that because they're gonna get their assistance. And if you give them some closing costs, that comes out of the bottom line of your sale price. But ain't nobody making you do it. If you want to sweeten the deal, you will though. It's on you. The sellers don't like the responsibility, I think. They want to blame us, but it's not that. It's hard getting somebody to buy your property because it's yours. It represents you, and you didn't make it so that it was perfect for them. You don't even know them. It's 1,000 thems. So you got to make a little bit of a concession here and there to get out of that situation that you're in that made you want to sell it in the first place. It's not blame the industry, you know? Anyway, that's just me. I don't see how they're saying anybody inflated prices, but maybe they did in that area at those brokerages. Maybe they, did get together in some kind of way. No, I take that back. I'm sorry, it can't happen. Buyers are very, very involved in how much a property sells for, period. So the market is determined by the buyer. What are they willing to pay? What are you willing to concede to get them to pay? Buyers have a integral role in making sure the house price is whatever it is, because that's what they paid at the end. Ain't no collusion. I'm sorry. I would love to know how the court records read. What did they say? What did they provide as evidence? But I just can't see it. Anyway, that's my 2 cents. Collusion, no. Antitrust, doubt it. Overpriced, can't be. Yeah, no. So that was it. I just had to say my 2 cents. But I will say, I'm interested in knowing what happens next. Like, if for some reason they overturn the whole way we do things now, again, how are buyers going to be able to afford the homes they can't afford now and then pay their agents on top of that? The argument probably was, why did we have to pay them in the first place? Well, if I was selling a car and I enlisted other people to market that car and help me sell that car, I would have to pay those people, right? I guess it's just like everything else in the world of, from the mind of Tanya D. Floyd. It's all a matter of perspective. If you have a house to be sold and you want the best chance of getting that house to be sold, you're going to enlist professionals to help you market that property and bring you customers, more and more customers, so that maybe even they'll get into a bidding war over that property and then you can get the best deal possible. But if you're going to make people pay to come and look at your house and then buy it from you, do you really want to sell the house? Like, what's the incentive to choose yours over somebody else's? I think part of that incentive is paying their agent. That's just me. I don't know. But let's just keep watching and see how this unfolds. Let me know what you think in the comments. A lot of people are bitter toward NAR and they think, they pay so much money every year and they don't get anything in return. But I mean, it's legal battles like this that could determine your whole lifestyle based on how much money you're able to make and how many provisions you're able to have, how many protections are in place for you. So again, I consider it like my union representative. I don't know what people thinking out here, but let me know what you think in the comments. Have a great